Alright, had to make it back. I'm gonna do something real quick and save again. Okay, so now we're back to where we were. It's definitely not the angle of the view, and I definitely have more chances to screw up. So, what would be the vital difference? If it wasn't the angle, and Phoenix was just floundering about that, would it be the distance? You know, I laughed off difference in lighting before, but, you know, that still doesn't really change anything. Okay, so vital difference. If it's not the angle, what would be a vital difference? Would be distance to the crime or the lighting? From the distance to the crime could be when she could potentially apprehend her. But also seeing whether or not she actually stabbed Goodman? Actually, you know, I think I was laughing off lighting. Maybe, and I did mention before that Goodman could have possibly already been dead. I'm wondering if maybe that's it? I'm trying to think, what would make the vital difference? I'm trying to think, a distance to the crime, yeah, she'd be farther away, but you still have all these different things. I don't think that changes anything. But lighting, if Goodman is already dead, maybe? I mean, at least I have more options here, so I've got that going for me. Let's try lighting, and if not, then, well, I guess it's distance. It's a difference in lighting. Lighting? What does that mean? Ah, it is. I don't know why I can think of all these different things and Phoenix can't. Okay, so it's distance. Why is distance the make or break, though? It changes the distance between her and the scene of the crime. My condolences, Mr. Wright, but one look at the floor plans, and it's quite clear. The distance between the scene of the crime and the guard station is 30 feet. I don't see how that would change what she could see. What she saw is not in question here. What matters is the time it would take her to reach the scene of the crime. Miss Starr, you witnessed the crime from the security guard station. Now, how long did it take you to go from there to the scene of the crime where you arrested Miss Skye? Well, witness? You? Yes? You ordered the squid wheels, right? Quality of my lunches has gone from low to inedible. I was bringing a PB&J lunch with fresh boysenberry jam to my boyfriend. Huh? Boysenberry for the boyfriend? He wasn't in the station, so I waited. I witnessed the crime from the glass-walled station. And before I knew what I was doing, I found myself running towards the scene. But the door was locked. I couldn't open it. That's a long detour. That is a long detour! That's why I had to go through the visitors' parking in B block. That's quite a detour. Yeah, no kidding. It probably took me at least 5 minutes to get to the scene of the crime.
5 minutes? Huh. This changes things considerably.
But it was that woman over there in the defendant's chair who stabbed him. I know it. I have photographic evidence. I swear it. I swear it on my finest plastic spork.
You have a point. And the spork is a wonderful invention.
Would you like another caviar lunch?
Absolutely! Uh-oh.
Mr. Wright, you have to do something!
Do I have any evidence to stop this? Do I? Okay, now we have at least a more detailed description of the map. Hold on a sec. It took 5 minutes. We're saying that Goodman died around, like, 5:15, right? I think the cell phone. Because if everything was down at 5:15, she would have had time to have called Emma and get in a lot more than just the word muffler. I think so. 5 minutes between the witnessing of the murder and the arrest. Think about it. You could make a pasta in that amount of time. If you like it al dente.
I've got lunchboxes that tie pasta in the knots, rookie.
A 5-minute blank. Isn't that strange? Strange? If you were a criminal, what would you do with 5 minutes, Your Honor? Well, I guess I'd flee the scene. Hey! Don't get the wrong idea. I didn't kill anyone. But you have the instincts of a killer. You would run. But this time was different. Miss Sky dawdled at the scene of the crime. She even had her picture taken. No true criminal would act this way. It's inconceivable. Well then, it seems we've come to the end of this testimony. The witness has a grudge against the defendant and a blank in her testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, is the next witness ready to go? Unfortunately, I appear to have overestimated this witness on account of her professional history.
We did it! We screwed that can shut, Mr. Wright!
That was too close. Yeah, I freaking lost in an alternate timeline. I'm afraid that the cough of Queen has been dethroned. And with that, court is adjourned.
Mr. Edgeworth, you ordered the squid wheels, right?
That's the one she tried to foist off on me! I prefer to not take the defense team's leftovers. Anything else to say?
I might be able to save you. I have decisive evidence.
What was that? Is this another one of her trick lunchboxes? My apologies, but we have no further questions to ask of you, Miss Starr.
Is this your jumbo lunchbox?
Woohoo! A triple-decker! Out of deference to the witness's determination, I'll allow one more testimony. Let's hear about this decisive evidence.
Like the Lunchland motto says, you won't be disappointed.
What's she going to pull out of her lunchbox this time? Also, why is this so freaking long? I'm not sure if I might have to split this into 3 episodes at this point, but we'll see how long this goes.
I should have mentioned those 5 minutes when I wasn't looking at the crime scene. And now, to the matter of the victim's shoe. Did I not bring this up? 2 types of blood were found on this shoe. One was, of course, the victim's. And the other blood type matched that of the defendant, Miss Lana Sky. This shoe proves it. It's flawless, decisive evidence.
What? There was blood found on that shoe?
Try Lunchland for all your lunch and decisive evidence needs.
Witness, what's the meaning of this? Why is this the first time I've heard of this evidence?
Simple, as I've already said. I don't trust you with evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. That's why I took the liberty of investigating this myself.
And you had blood tests performed?
Didn't I mention? I have 3 boyfriends in forensics.
In any case, Your Honor, I can't accept this as evidence!
What?
You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. In other words, this shoe is illegal evidence. At least for the time being.
Is that right, Mr. Wright?
It seems so. Edgeworth sure is celebrating.
Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. Don't forget, I used to be a detective. As I mentioned previously, this shoe has already been tested by a member of the forensics department. As you can see, it was approved by the police department as of today. Even the general public can produce official evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. Is that right, Mr. Wright?
It seems so. Edgeworth is looking pretty sullen.
You could at least study some evidence law, really.
The prosecution's complaints notwithstanding, it appears that this evidence satisfies the first rule of evidence law. However, it seems you have yet another count against you, witness.
Anything to ensure that the guilty are properly judged.
Okay, victim's shoe. Bears traces of blood from Goodman and Lana. Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness. Okay. This might just go into 3 episodes anyway. Should have mentioned those 5 minutes where I wasn't looking at the crime scene. Well, no duh. Why did you lie about those 5 minutes?
I guess you could say I just wanted people to look at the results.
The results?
How many times do I have to say this? I saw the chief prosecutor stab the victim before my very own eyes. Compared to that, a 5-minute blank means nothing.
Then why didn't you just tell the truth?
Don't make me laugh. We're dealing with the most untrustworthy of the vile lot known as prosecutors. Falsified evidence, arranged testimonies, erasing and manipulating evidence. When you fight monsters, you need to use every trick in the book.
This one, the suspect is admitting she did it. But false testimony is the most despicable crime of all, Miss Starr. Let's just get this over with. Yeah, that's the weird thing. Lana was going to just admit it, so why go through all this? And you found this shoe at the scene of the crime?
I detained the chief prosecutor and notified the police department. I wanted to make myself useful out while I was waiting for the police to arrive.
So, like an ill-trained pooch, you snuck off with a shoe.
I was afraid someone would erase the chief prosecutor's crime. This shoe was my secret weapon, if that should happen. See this fashionable basket I have here? It carries more than lunch boxes, gentlemen.
I'm happy for you in your lunchbox bag, really. In any case, you removed a valuable piece of evidence from the scene of the crime. Now tell us what you did next. Interesting, that's an ill-behaved pooch. It's usually they take socks. Or maybe it's just my dog that does that. So you brought it to the forensics department.
If you're going to submit something as evidence in court, you need it approved. To do that, evidence must be analyzed by a forensics expert.
And she got away with her little coup because she used to be a detective. The shoe does appear to have bloodstains on it.
Well, the man was stabbed after all.
And that blood belonged to the victim, Detective Goodman?
As I said, there were 2 types of blood found on the shoe.
One was the victim, the other matched the defendant, Miss Lana Skye. You can't say for sure the blood belonged to the defendant with a blood test.
You claim to know something about blood tests, rookie.
Huh?
Well, speak up!
Well, blood comes in 4 types: A, B, O, and AB. However, you can't tell from a blood test whether a murder was committed in cold blood. That's just a figure of speech, Mr. Wright.
Actually, we can differentiate between millions of types with all the blood tests out there, which means that we can more or less narrow any sample of blood down to just one person. Or so I hear.
That's pretty specific.
If I had a little more time, I would have gotten DNA test results. But they said there's very little doubt it could be anyone's but Miss Lana Sky's.
So the suspect's blood was found on the victim's shoe. That ties her directly to Detective Goodman. I was afraid he was going to say that. Shoe proves it. I can't let this evidence go through without a fight.
You ordered the peppered fish guts, right? Some like it hot, Mr. Wright. Some like your client. She's enough in hot water to make a whole vat of soup. Mr. Wright, do you or don't you have a problem with this shoe?
A problem? This is critical. Is there a problem with the victim's shoe? Can we examine it? Hello. Let's look at this first.
This blood is my sister's, right?
It appears so. Lana's right hand was bandaged when I saw her in jail. She must have cut herself at the time of the crime.
Poor sis.
What was that on the back here? Hello?
There's blood here too!
On the sole of the shoe? It's gotta be the victim's. He must have stepped in a puddle of his own blood.
All this blood, it's horrible.
Huh. This blood might be an important clue. Yeah, I'm kind of wondering, why exactly would that blood... How could there be that much of the victim's own blood when he was just stabbed in the chest? Why would it be able to pool that much? So yes, there is a problem. If I'm not imagining things, I'd say there's one critical problem with this evidence. A clear contradiction.
That gleam in your eyes. You're still young, rookie. I'd give you a peppered fish gut now. But you couldn't take the heat, could you?
Let's hear what Mr. Wright has to say. What is contradictory about the victim's shoe? Show us the problem with this evidence. Okay, so clearly this is enough, but it's gotta be this. I wonder if you noticed, there's blood on the bottom of this shoe.
Don't mess with me, rookie. Or it'll be your blood on the bottom of my shoe.
Huh. Indeed, there is quite a bit of blood on the bottom of the shoe. It makes sense. The victim was stabbed with a knife. What could possibly be contradictory about blood on the bottom of his shoe? Great, man. You gotta tie a lot of this crap together. The photo? I don't see a pool of blood, actually. Unless it's the autopsy report. Hold on. Let's see. Loss of blood from a chest wound. Wound was caused... A single stab wound. Okay, if it's not the picture, then I'm guessing it's the autopsy report. Because being stabbed, just a single stab, I don't think you would get that much blood that quickly and then get it at the bottom of your shoe like that. Especially if he was being stuffed in a trunk. I'll try the photo. I've got a few tries. If it's not the photo, then I'm gonna go with the autopsy report. Because there's no pool of blood. The photo doesn't show any blood aside from what's on Lana's coat. I'm gonna try it. The problem lies in the footprint. The footprint. Note that the bottom of the victim's shoe is covered in blood. Then, isn't it strange? Why weren't any bloody footprints found by the scene of the crime? Aha! As you can see, there were no traces of any such footprints at the scene of the crime. That contradicts your claim about this shoe. This picture only shows part of the floor, so there could have been bloody footprints. Then where are they, Mr. Edgeworth? Because we checked the scene and found nothing of the sort. Order! 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 Well, witness?
What? Huh? Great going, Mr. Wright, but, it's true that the lack of a footprint is a contradiction, but then we have to ask why there wasn't a footprint.
Oh, that's true. There has to be a reason why there wasn't a footprint.
Think, Mr. Wright, think!
Hey, I don't know why it's not there. I'm just good at finding contradictions.
What?!
I see. Now I get it. Get what? Our witness is more devious than I gave her credit for. We were hoodwinked to the very end. But she slipped. There is one vital hint to the truth in her testimony. What are you talking about? Think back to when she told us about apprehending the suspect.
The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum. Oh, she's beautiful, but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman.
Wow. I thought that was a strange thing for the normally cool-headed chief to do. No kidding. Now, witness, allow me to ask a very simple question. This oil drum, was it empty?
Oh, that? I'm not sure I like your attitude, Mr. Edgeworth. Though apparently you're not the slowest conveyor belt in the lunchbox factory.
Witness, well, was the oil drum empty?
The oil drum kicked over by the chief prosecutor was brimming with water.
Water? What does that mean? Still don't get it, Mr. Wright. Do you want to know the reason she knocked it over? The real reason? Aha! You don't mean... Yes, the suspect knocked over that oil drum for one reason and one reason alone. To erase the bloodstains that would become evidence against her. What? That ties things up quite nicely. The bloodstains left on the victim's shoes tie her quite clearly to this murder. Then, after the deed was done, she knocked over the oil drum to erase the telltale signs.
Why, that's a prosecutor's specialty, erasing evidence.
That reminds me, Miss Sky's right hand was hurt. Didn't she say she cut herself when she stabbed him?
So that's when my sister's blood got on the shoe.
Well, I see no reason to prolong this trial.
Mr. Wright, do something, please!
What? What can I do?
Your sister has confessed to the crime and she tried to conceal it. But...
Enough! There is no need for further debate. The verdict, Your Honor. Very well.
But Angel Star's on the prosecution side! She could have been lying about the water!
This court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Sky.
Little girl, what did you just say? Huh? Me? Did you say that I, Angel Star, was on the prosecution side? Well, yeah, you are! You're saying my sister hid evidence by erasing the bloody footprints! Well, I thought you'd had your fill, but here you are demanding a second helping. Another lunchbox. A lunchbox called evidence.
Wait, witness, don't tell me you have something else. The time for deliberations is past. Any further comments and you will be held in contempt of court.
Your threats don't scare the cop-up queen. Look at this.
A photograph?
I had it just in case anyone had the gall to suggest that the white shoe didn't belong to the victim.
I see no room for error in this evidence.
Mr. Wright, wait! Look at the asphalt in this photo!
Hey, it's clearly wet! Erasing the last trace of doubt from the court's mind. Immediately after the murder, the crime scene was washed with water.
I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I guess I couldn't help after all.
It's not your fault. I knew I couldn't win this case from the beginning. And it seems this is what your sister wanted anyway. I'm sorry, Mia.
Right. Wet or not, don't be so quick to throw in the towel. Get yourself up off the asphalt. Take another good look. Don't give up. Not until the bitter end.
This is the last piece of evidence. Very well. This time I'd like to declare a verdict for good. Your Honor, wait! What is it with you people? Can't I hand down my verdicts in peace anymore? Whatever it is, can it wait? No, it can't! Then it'll be too late! Look at this photograph, what the last one submitted. This trial isn't over until we give each piece of evidence proper consideration. So, Wright, are you saying there's a problem with this latest piece of evidence? Yeah! I'll think later. Yeah, there's a problem! Right or wrong, I've got to go ahead with this. I suppose since we've come this far, we should give every claim a fair shake. Very well, Mr. Wright. Show the court the problem with this photograph. Interesting, it's not gonna actually deal with anything with that. Okay, so this part's what? Hold the phone? The muffler. Hello, there is something here. See, I was wondering, because there was muffler of a car, I was hoping it would be an investigation. I wasn't expecting that we would have it in court. But yeah, there's something there. So let's maybe take a look at this. The problem in this photograph is here. What's this? There's something poking out in the car's muffler! Wait just a moment, Mr. Edgeworth. Your Honor, you just said muffler. However, I see no trace of a muffler or scarf of any kind in this photograph. A muffler is also part on a car or motorcycle, Your Honor. Just think of it as part of the exhaust system, a pipe. I see! And I see! What's that suspicious-looking cloth sticking out of the car's muffler?
Huh! So what if there's something sticking out of the muffler? What does that have to do with this case? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Sorry, Miss Starr, but it's not going to be that easy. In fact, you've already told us why this is important to the case. You said as much in your testimony.
What?
Let's hear what Mr. Wright has on his mind. Tell us why you think this piece of cloth in the muffler is related to the case. Crap. Okay. Man, they are really going at it. This is just day one! Dear God. Okay. What piece of evidence suggests that the cloth is related to the case?
Is it the shoe? It's gotta be the shoe, right? Okay, so there was an oil drum that was kicked over. Okay, so there's a... Let's maybe not think about everything else. Think about this current thing. So, there is a piece of cloth in the muffler. Okay, no, maybe it's not that. It's gotta be the phone. Because Lana mentioned muffler to Emma. Muffler had to have been this. So it's gotta be related to whatever she was trying to tell Emma about. Miss Starr, recall your testimony for the court. Yes. When I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. Muffler. Ugh! Ugh! Could it be that the muffler you heard mentioned was actually this exhaust pipe? If so, that means this piece of cloth is vital evidence! Ugh. Well, it seems we will have to suspend the proceedings. Suspend? I find myself wondering about that piece of cloth. If we leave any question unanswered here, we do a disservice to the law. Have the car at the crime scene inspected at once, and bring me that cloth. The verdict will wait until after we've seen all the evidence. Agreed? I suppose so. Whew, that was close. But we made it. At least for now. This court will adjourn for a 30-minute recess. 30-minute recess? You mean this case is still not done for the day? It's lunchtime after all. He's still hungry? Dear God, are we not done with the court case? What? How long is this? Whatever. We seem to at least be done for the time being. There's a recess. The game is giving us a chance to save. Dear God, this is either... it's gotta be 3 episodes. Dear God, I was hoping that it wouldn't be too much longer, and look how long it is. So we're gonna go ahead and call it a day here. So, next time on Let's Play, Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. Apparently this day in court just keeps getting longer. Why is this so freaking long? Ah! Anyway. We're gonna head back into court. We'll see what exactly this cloth has to do with the case and what exactly is going on. Dear God, there is so much going on here. Just one day in court and it's this long. I'm not even sure the final day of the last case was this long. And that was pretty freaking long too. Well, whatever. We have a chance to save. Hopefully we'll get refresh on our times. It might not. It's still the same day, so we might not get that back. But at any rate, we'll see what happens further next time. So until then, everyone, take care.